Cool. Well, welcome everybody. Take two. This is Tactical Tuesday Talks. I am Charles with Clacker Tactical. It's been a while. It has been quite a while. So, been busy. Got some news updates for you. Been doing a lot of work in the shop. Been doing a bunch of traveling. If you haven't figured that out, um, just got back recently from Guncon 2025 in Cleveland, Ohio. So I've got some news. That's what we're going to talk about is just the news updates from that. Um, Talking about uh, the highlights from that, what I liked, what I didn't like. And I know there's a lot of other people that are making videos of the things they didn't like. I'm not going to harp too much on the negative. I think everybody's pretty much got that point um, down. That hey, at no as everyone's been reiterating, at no fault to John and the Gun Collective and his entire team, uh, that venue was not the best, and it was all good until you get there, and then you come to find out that it's not what you expected. Um, which whatever, that it happens, right? So, we're just gonna dive into what I saw at GunCon that I liked. I'll harp a little bit on things I didn't like. Um, but we're going to stick to the positives here. That's what we're going to talk about, the cool, innovative things that you see when you go to GunCon. Um, Range day was hot. I was almost a heat gas. By midday, I was sweating more than I was intaking. I had to take a break in the AC. Luckily, it cooled down. We had a little bit of sprinkle. That was nice. But really, it was a pretty rough day. Um, I still got to get to as many booths as I could. Um, and there's a couple that I missed, and I saw them the next day at the indoor event, which was still hot. Not as bad as the outside. But again, that is a negative. We're not talking about negatives here. Um, First thing, I'm not going to go in order of what I saw. Well, I will. I'll try to the best I could, but there was a lot of good comped companies there. Comp barrels is what I mean. So you have, of course, you have Radian Weapons Tech, which is like probably the leader when it comes to compensated guns. The unique thing about them is that you don't have to have a threaded barrel. The downside is that you have to have their proprietary barrel because it's pinned. But what that allows is it's 50 state legal. And when they told me that, I was like, "What do you mean 50 state legal? Threaded barrels are illegal in some states." Yes, some states have threaded barrel laws, so they designed and developed uh, their pin system so that it's 50 state legal. So it's not a threaded barrel. But that does make the price go up because now you can't just get a standard factory threaded barrel and throw a comp on it, like Harrington Arms had. Harrington Arms right next to them, fairly similar product, lower price point. I think the Radian ones look better and they did feel a little better. I think they've been doing comps maybe a little bit longer. I don't know that 100%. Uh, I still like the Harrington stuff as well. I think for affordability wise, the Harringtons that are going to be more generally sought after for people who just have a threaded barrel and they want to throw a comp on it. Whereas the Radian, you have to get the barrel and the comp. Radian had their ADAC system on their AR lowers, which I loved. I didn't like the price point, but I mean, when you're getting something is that cool and innovative, I mean, not only is it just a full ambi lower. I mean, there's companies that are starting to do full ambi lowers on ARs now. Because let's face it, with the AR-15 platform, how innovative can you really get? It's a lower receiver, it's an upper receiver. There's certain attachments and stuff you can get to get pretty cool with, but we're kind of running out of innovation unless we completely redesign the rifle, right? Um, and and I won't even get into the Anderson stuff because I've been getting quite a bit of conversations with people about inexpensive lowers, mid-grade and upper level lowers that are just housings for the important parts, but we won't go there. Not on this one. That we'll get to that in another one. So moving on from there, trying to remember in order of operations that I went to. Romeo Hotel Engineering. That was probably uh, the next one I think we went to, and probably the most innovative product that I've seen at the entirety of Guncon was at that booth. And he only brought two things, and it was the most innovative thing I've seen. It was their gyroscopic, I'm saying their gyroscopic muzzle brake, which basically was a ball bearing attached to a muzzle brake with X amount of ports in it. So when you fired, all the gases, instead of being like bidirectional or somewhat omnidirectional, this was true omnidirectional. It literally spit the gases out in a circular motion as it was being fired, and it was crazy how much it actually stabilized. Uh, I shot it. He's like, just shoot as fast as you can. Don't worry about getting on target. And I was able to. I hip fired this M16 style length rifle and hit a steel target at like 20 yards, hip fired, and just burning them down. It was kind of impressive because I wasn't aiming, so I got lucky. But they were on target. Like it shot so flat, and I've got a rifle that shoots super flat. I think that if I actually got behind that thing and it wasn't piping hot, that I probably could have shot it better. I think they were in around like $120 for the muzzle device, and as far as practicality use wise, for the average shooter, I would say probably not too much. But if you're doing some heavy shooting, with a binary or a FRT or on a full auto machine lower, like that thing would rock. That thing would be. I would really love to see that thing on a machine lower or an FRT. I think that'd be great. They also had the Thick Boy, which was their double barrel uh, suppressor. I think they had it specifically for the DP12. Thing weighed a ton, but man, was it smooth and quiet. So that thing was really cool. I don't think there's anybody else in the market that has a double barrel shotgun suppressor. So kudos to them on that. That was awesome. Next to them over there was XTAR USA that I thought was really unique. Something was really cool was their polymer blowback AR style pistols. They had a 9mm, 10mm, and a 45. And I was shocked at how when you picked it up, you're like, this thing's light. You're gonna feel every bit of the recoil. It's a direct blowback. 9mm probably not so much, but at least with the 10mm and the 45, I was expecting to like, oh, this is gonna probably hurt. No, I was shocked at how little recoil you actually feel on those things, and they were unsuppressed. If they were suppressed, that great. And the best part about them, I think their retail was like, let's see, I have it written down. They're only like $4.99 or $4.50 was their MSRP. I think it was $4.99, so that you're gonna get them for like $4.50. Great price point. It ran all day, great. The polymer is durable, as far as I could tell. It looked like a solid little guy for less than $500. I thought that would be perfect for entry level. Me and my brother-in-law was there, Matt. But this would be great to get the kids into shooting ARs because it's lightweight, it's plastic. It'd be easy for them to handle and just get used to the platform. I think that the controls are pretty clunky. I will say that. But when you're doing stuff with kids, it's usually like you're getting it ready, handing it to them, and you're standing with them behind them, so that they're not fully using all the controls. It's just getting used to some of the manual of arms on that. Anyway, moving on. We went through the loop. I was darn near passing out when I got to Tandem Cross, so I did not get to shoot the Tandem Cross stuff, which was unfortunate because I really wanted to. I know my brother-in-law did, and he loved them. He loves his 22 stuff. I'm getting into being more 22 oriented. Like I'm starting to get more into that. Hey Kevin, hey Metal, what's going on? So what was the next thing that we went to? Was Ranger Point Precision that they had with their lever actions that were smooth. So 300 blackout suppressed lever action is chef's kiss. That thing was awesome. I want one so bad. Moving on from that, I think we went to Phoenix Trinity Firearms. They had 2011 style pistols, but they did it a little bit differently because they didn't have a traditional. Their lockup was a proprietary. They have a patent pending lockup design for them, which They had it all broken up so you can kind of see how it changed the impulse, how it was more of a. It wasn't like how the 1911 style um, pin was. It was more like a Glock style lockup, but modified. But they made the gun shoot much smoother. And it had a different impulse, a different feel to it. And whichever one they had that I liked the most, I forgot to write down the model, but man, that thing ran fast, smooth, and flat. I'll be posting some videos later of all the stuff that we shot. And man, this thing is like flat. Like I didn't even know it was. If you looked at the video, it was like we were shooting that BB gun that they had. And just a little caveat, yes, they had BB guns. Pyramid was there. Is Pyramid something? They had BB guns, CO2 BB guns there at Guncon, which was just awesome to see that. That was like really cool. Um, I love BB guns, the airsoft stuff for training. People like, oh, you're LARPing out, you're a nerd. Like, yeah, but I'm saving a lot of money. All this stuff is made like to scale, same weight, same manual of arms, and I'm shooting BBs. Like, me and the guys can throw on some armor and literally do force on force, and it's like safe. Somewhat safe. Um, Moving on from there, I think the wrapping around the bench. Yankee Hill. Gotta love Yankee Hill manufacturing and their suppressors. Their line of suppressors is amazing. Um, we got to them kind of during the end of the day, so I really just shot the Fat Cat. That's the one I really wanted to see. That's the can that I want to get, which is essentially a shortened version of, I think, their turbo can, but it's just the volume is the same, but they're short, and that's what they have for mainly a lot of their SWAT guys and guys that are doing CQB stuff, but they still need to have a certain level of noise reduction. that widget spinner in the comments, Heavy Metal Lifestyle 223 is asking about that the spinners, the widget spinner. That is Romeo Hotel Engineering and their gyroscopic muzzle brake. I think I've got them actually pulled up here. Let's see if we can do this. I will share my screen. I have them pulled up here. Here we are. All right, so Romeo Hotel Engineering. We're gonna go and see if I got it on there first. Here's a little picture of it. That's just neat. There's the Thick Boy. Let's see if I'll go up here to their shop. Let's see. It's gonna take a while too because I'm also streaming, so it's gonna be a little slow. But there it is right there. Gyroscopic muzzle brake 250. It's retailed at $110. And there's the Thick Boy. But this is the one that I thought was the most innovative product at Guncon. I thought it was really neat. So that's the Romeo Hotel Engineering gyroscopic muzzle brake. Get me back here. Sorry, I'm messing with some stuff. Go back to rifle speed. We went to, I think next was rifle speed. Rifle speed was there last year. I love this product. So the rifle speed, it's adjustable gas block, but it's toolless. How many? I actually had to steal one from a friend, but I had the Aero Precision adjustable gas block that you have to use a really long Allen key, get down in there, and then use a set screw, and then you're gonna get carbon lock. It's just a pain in the butt. If you have to adjust it on the fly, if you're going from suppressed to unsuppressed, or just the gun's getting gunked up and it's starting to slow down, you gotta find your tool, hope you didn't lose it, and then finick it through a hot barrel and hot can. No good. So they have essentially, we'll go in and we'll look at this here again. I'll share my screen. I'm gonna have a whole bunch of them already pulled up here, but rifle speed is the next one that I thought was like they were there last year, but they're still like this. I'd say number 2 in innovation when it comes to what they had. This thing was just awesome. So you can see here these parts are gonna protrude past your handguard. and allow you to adjust it. Now, you do have to match your gas system, handguard, and barrel length to find the right one that's going to work for your system. And for a while there, they didn't have a system that worked with my setup because I have a 12.5 ballistics advantage with a 11.7 break arms handguard, and I could not get that to match up because it was kind of a flush fit. I'm gonna see if I can find it on here if they have it. He said it was live, so gas controls. They have one that's called he said it was a limited exposure. Let's see if we can find it here. Well, they have the handguard windows. That was kind of cool. They might have just added in. I think it's actually this short guy here. So I'm at a 750 profile. I think he said it was one of these models. I couldn't remember. I have to look back into the video that I made with him. And I'll post that here soon where he shows this live. I fight 5 rounds with it fully closed and then 5 rounds with it fully open. You can see the ejection angle change drastically. I mean, from almost shooting him forward to shooting him back. So really impressive, really cool on the fly with guns that were running dirty. And we were at the end of the day. So, how many other creators were there shooting it? So really cool thing. But this is now available for if you have flush fits. I think it was this. It wasn't even this. It was actually smaller than that. They don't seem to have a picture of it right now. But keep an eye out for it. There, you can just look on it. This is actually more of the knurled end that we were looking at right here. So I think that's it. So if you're looking for it, you've got a flush fit barrel and handguard. That right there, that's the muzzle device that you want. Just match up with your barrel. So barrel length, gas system length, and handguard length. If you can't find it, reach out to them. See what you can do to get it to work, because these, for if you have a direct impingement, these are what you want. So we'll go back over for here. Fusion firearms, something that I think they might have been there last year. I don't remember, but I like them. I did not get to their booth to shoot them. There's a lot of things I missed out because I thought I was going to pass out. But Fusion Firearms, I checked them out at their booth and got to hold the stuff in my hand, and man, these things were really cool. They had full metal frame Glock style pistols that were, again, sub $500. When I picked it up and I was like, dude, this is going to be like a $1,300, $1,500 handgun. Like, it looked nice. The finish, the fit, everything was just top notch. I was like, this thing feels good. I love the integrated little gas pedal they had in the frame. Just like the way that it looked was neat. So let's take a look at the Fusion firearms. So I was blown away with them is the price point. This is what I looked at him, I stumbled back, and he looked at me, he's like, yep, that's the reaction we usually get. So let's look at, I think it was the XF. Well, we jumped to this one first. Well, since we clicked this one first, this is the XP. This is their 2011. This ranges from $1,000, like let's say $1,100 to $1,200, depending on finish. The chrome ones are a little bit more. And then right here is the FX Pro. So this one kind of reminds me of like I wouldn't even say it's like a Glock clone, because it kind of is like a Glock clone. Maybe I think it does take some Glock Gen 3 internals, if I remember. Gen 4 Glock internals and stuff. So it is like Glock parts, right? Glock magazines. But it doesn't look like a Glock. And I'm liking that angle and the finish, the grip panels. Like, it's just cool. And look at the price point. That's MSRP for $550. So you're looking at maybe getting these at dealers for less than $500. That's crazy. Their optics cut. I mean, there's so many features. You got this right here. This is that little gas pedal that's built into the frame. So we should be getting a XP and an XF model in for holster testing and manufacturing to make sure that we can support holsters for them. So let's look back at their 2011, which also takes Glock mags, which the only other company right now that I know of is platypus. And you're not getting a platypus for even close to this. So I would like to find out. Well, this is the 10 round one, so just keep in mind that this is not the full size. But let's just go back because we don't like California style guns. We don't want to even look at it, right? So here you go. This one here, look like all these customizations. You get ported barrels, threaded barrels. I mean, and it really doesn't change the price. You're going up $1,300 to have a nice threaded barrel. They are bull barrels. They're not bushing barrels, so that's also one of the key things I was looking for in a 2011. Just a lot of features, a lot of customization. It looks great. It felt great in the hand. Price point's amazing. Can't wait to get one in and do a video on how it shoots in the range and also get holster compatibility for it. So excited for them. Next we had, I'm just going to leave the screen up here and I'll show you the Phoenix Trinities. These guys, I mean, these were like $5,000 2011s, but man, they ran so smooth. Like I haven't been behind a lot of 2011s, but I liked this guy. There's so many different. I think the Honcho we did have there. I can't remember all the models that we shot. I think we did shoot this one, but like you see, these are high-end 2011s, right? Me personally, I'm not saying I don't like them, and I'm not saying that they're not worth it. I think they probably are worth it. But I just personally, it's too much for me. The amount of money invested into it, unless you're actually using this for like high-level competitions and stuff, I just don't see that price point to me being worth it. And that's just me though. I am also a trash panda. I like things that are cheap and that run. So you can think of me whatever you want, but that's that's out of my my budget plan. Let's see who else did I have set up here. I think here's the X-Tars. We'll show you guys those. So, and of course, first thing is lightweight and fun. I mean, it looks kind of funky, but I think they had some weights on here. So let's see what they had for weight. One of the ones, the EP9 was probably going to be the lightest one. So let's see. Barrel length 6.5, 9 mil. Let's see what the rounds are. These are they're taking Glock mags. Not sure if they have any adapters, but there we go. 4.09 pounds. That's ridiculous. That's crazy light. Now, that might be light, but one thing I did forget to prep here, and it was 1791 Industries. These guys had the lightest AR stuff I have ever held in my hand. They have a hand stop that was the same weight as a sheet of paper. And he dropped it in my hand, and I dropped. I was like, oh, wow. No way that it's this light. So this is a metal matrix composite, so it's just let's show what this is real quick. Because if I try to remember it off of memory, I'm going to screw it all up. So the Light Raider stuff, they've got hand guards, upper receivers, hand stops, M-lock rail attachment, scope rings, super light, ultra light. And it's just composite, 33% lighter than 6061 aluminum, just as strong. And it's like just composite of like ceramics and aluminums, magnesium and things like that. It's just a nice strong composite. But let's look at their handguards, for example. This guy here, let's just go full rail. I think they're going to give us a weight on it. It's saying it's stronger, or just as strong, at 33% lighter, but how light? For a full-length handrail, you're at, for full, 6.4 ounces. Less than half. I mean, that's what? Quarter of a pound? That's 6.4 ounces is nothing. Let's see about their receivers. And the price is not bad. I mean, that's retail for like $200-300 for a handguard. That's that lightweight. Oh, they did have light receivers. Okay. I think altogether they had the rifle. I think it was up to like 6 or 7 pounds, and it was a full rifle with a light optic, and that was it. But I mean, they had most of that weight was barrel and the B5 stock and the grip. I mean, the stuff that they didn't make. Um, this one here is. They're not going to give me the weight on it. Well, they don't give me the weight on the lower receiver, but that their whole rifle, unless I'm just reading past it, the whole rifle was like 7 pounds or less than. It's ridiculously light. Let's see what other tab did I have open here to share with y'all. I think that Next Level Armament. This is a Michigan-based company, which I thought was really cool. There's actually quite a bit of Michigan-based companies. Night Vision is in Detroit. You got Next Level Armament was out of Detroit. I think there's two, so that's it. But that was pretty cool. As well as all the other creators and brands that were there as just spectators that were from Michigan. Obviously, being in Ohio, that was going to be happening. But back in Iowa, there was a whole bunch of people from Michigan. That was really cool. So Next Level Armament, they do make full firearms, but what really was cool, what I liked, which is on my to-do list to get, is the NLS 22 Varmint Kit. This is a 22 suppressor, and yes, your eyes aren't deceiving you. That's $150. And now that there is no tax stamp, that is $150 plus just whatever sales tax there is on the NFA item. And you get 3 baffle covers for it. This is a carbon fiber 3D printed. Everything else I think is stainless steel. So you have your expansion chamber and your attachment stuff, and I think the baffles are carbon fiber. This part here is stainless steel. I think they might have a titanium version coming, is what they were saying. Don't quote me because I don't know. That's what they actually said. But you direct mount this thing, throw it on a 22. If this thing gets gunky and turn, we asked them, how do you clean it? He's like, you don't. Just take that off, put a new one on, and you got 3. And if you burn through all 3, let us know and give us proof that you purchased this thing and that it's ours, and we'll give you another set of 3. I didn't hear that part, but Nick at the AR-15 podcast said it last week, and I was like, really? That's really cool. That made me like it even more. So it's like an endless supply of suppressors, and so what if the baffles go bad and you have to change it out instead of cleaning it because you don't want to clean the carbon fiber? For $150, you can't go wrong here. And on a 22, and it was quiet. Let me see if they give the decibel rating on this thing. So this only, let's see, weighed 3.2 ounces. You're at an overall length of 6 inches. Tested with 22 long, 22 subs, and 17 HMR. It does not give me anywhere where I can see where they're giving us the decibel rating. Hey, prepared follower is in the chat. How's it going, man? You might have left already. But anyway, they do have their full stainless steel ones for their, I think, 7.62s and 5.56 in 9mm, I believe. These were also very quiet, and they're still fairly cheap. Not to mention, they're all Inconel 3D printed or titanium 3D printed. Now you don't have that tax stamp. Now's your time to go get a can. Yeah, I know. We won't dive too much into all that debacle. We didn't get what we wanted. Is a $0 tax stamp a win? Sure, it's a small win. It could have been a heck of a lot better. I don't get too much into politics. I'm not smart enough to understand all of it. I try to. I understand and I read up on stuff that really affects me. Now, with that being the case, now you're still having an NFA item. It's just a $0 tax. Hopefully that we have some more stuff coming on and down the road to completely remove the NFA and just make suppressors still maybe be like, it shouldn't even be a 4473 item. It shouldn't even be to that point because it's just a muffler for your gun. I don't have to go get a license or anything to put a muffler on my car. In fact, it's a requirement in almost every state that your vehicle cannot be over a certain decibel amount. It's a requirement by law that your vehicle can't be loud. So why shouldn't it be a requirement by law that my gun can't be so loud? That makes too much sense. So that's why the worst people are in charge. So anyway, that I think covers everything that I seen at Guncon that I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. And I'm realizing now that looks like my screen might be stuck on the fusion firearms. But you guys, if you heard what I was sharing and not able to see it, I will also put links in the description for everything that I shared with you all today. And that way you can go check them out for yourself. Sorry, I don't have any coupon codes for you guys, but I am going to create a code for anybody that's watching this live stream who got on our YouTube to listen to our little podcast session that I did with Pop Culture 223 and Delta Munitions, who are in the chat. What's up, guys? We had a video failure. I'm not gonna blame myself, but I will because I'm the one that brought the SD cards. I brought the wrong style format, so they weren't gonna work in one of the cameras. A friend of mine, Dooley, set it up for us on the other one, and it just didn't record. We got audio, we didn't get video. He said the same. He had video for the first little half of their 30 minutes, and then there no more video. So I'm not sure if that's the case with everybody else, but we did post the audio for it. We'll probably get together again. I know that me and Kevin with Pop Culture 223, we're going to get together to do a podcast session here soon. We're going to get that scheduled, so be on the lookout for that. That's going to be cool. But I will put in the description of this video too a coupon code that I will think of later because I'm not going to do it now. That will save you 10% on. Let's do 15%. We're going to do 15%. It's going to be a short period of time. But we're going to do 15% for everybody who's, took their time to watch this video and subscribe to our YouTube and follow us on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff, whatever platform it tickles your fancy. Yes, we're on TikTok. I have not been posting at TikTok because commies, suck. And even though TikTok was my fastest growing platform, it's my least liked platform. So it is what it is there. But as far as overall Guncon, it was great. I mean, anytime you're going to a industry event like this, I'm not going to be not happy unless it was NRAM, but I'm not going to. I will think about going to Goals. Talk to a few people there about going to Goals. I might do that one as an attendee, of course. I'm not going to be. I am not at the point to be media for them. I was very grateful that I was able to go as media to this event, and it was a lot of hard work that I was not used to. And I'm going to get back on that pony and start riding this bandwagon again of trying to come back to you guys regularly every Tuesday. If this format we're doing now works, then we're going to keep it. If not, we're probably going to be just switching over to going live on YouTube, even though that is a lower amount of following. So if you're following me on Instagram and you're watching this video, go over to our YouTube and give us a subscribe there. Turn your notifications on. Do all that cool jazz. If you've not heard of Rumble yet, we stalled on Rumble because we had like 8 people follow us, and it's like I'm not gonna bother with it because it's just not progressing the way that I want. But get on Rumble. If I start seeing a big influx of follows on there, I'll start pushing content on there and doing lives on Rumble because I would prefer them over some of the other meta platforms, of course. But as far as that goes, future planning here, I got nothing for you. Guncon was a blast. I know that there's going to be a bunch of local gun shows here in Michigan, a local IDPA, USPSA multi-gun, 2-gun, 3-gun shoots that I'm going to be going to. I was supposed to go to the one this weekend, but I got other plans. Maybe I might sneak in. Drawing a blank. I didn't write my notes again, as always. You guys know me. I don't do notes. I try to do mental notes, and then my ADD kicks in, and I just start talking. And you guys all love it because you're here watching it. So don't complain. Stop complaining. All right, enough of me rambling. We will catch you guys on the next one here. I will be, like I said, more regular on the Tactical Tuesday talks, and we're gonna be solo from now on for Tactical Tuesday talks. If we're gonna have a guest on, that's gonna be the 2A Talks podcast. That's gonna be more interview style. We will have some coming up where it's gonna be intro to competitive shooting and sports shooting with a good friend of mine at Duncan Sports out in Bay City here, and he's going to walk us through intro to get into it. He's been a master level shooter for a while now, so that'll probably be the next thing that you're going to see come up. Not just a couple other Tuesday nights of me rambling off for way too long. So, with that being said, we will catch you all later, and you have a good night. And again, stay strong and carry with confidence, guys.